Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio and welcome to Prayer for Peace. Today we are here in another beautiful day, gathered together to read a message, to reflect, and we are here to pray, dear friends. We have these programs to help us make these connections. Yes, we can pray at our homes by ourselves. We should be praying at home. But when we are together, it is more powerful. Jesus said himself, where two or more are gathered together, there I will be. Not that he's not with us, but when we are in this community, in this gathering, we enter in the same frequency. So our prayers, they are magnified. Yes, we together can form this currency and our prayers go higher. So we know each one of us, we have our own petitions, we have our own challenges, but let us enter in these moments. Let us absorb these teachings. And during the prayer, let us open our hearts. Jesus knows what we want, He knows what we need, and He knows exactly what to give us. Today, we're going to read a message to help us enter in this frequency from on high, a message that is in the book Our Daily Bread, psychographed by Chico Xavier by the Spirit Emmanuel. We're going to read message number 71, titled, Shake the Dust Off. Emmanuel starts this message by quoting Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, verses 14. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, shake the dust off your feet when you leave that home or town. The disciples materialized the teaching of Jesus themselves by shaking the dust off their sandals and departing from this or that rebellious, impertinent place. Still, if the symbol from the Master's lesson was indeed to be a simple mechanical gesture, it would be merely a group of empty words. The teaching, however, is much more profound. It recommends the elimination of the sickly yeast. To shake the dust off the feet implies the elimination of any bitterness or detritus from their lives, due to the ignorance and the perversity that is encountered on the road of our daily experiences. It is logical to have the desire to confer to others the seeds of the truth and righteousness. But if we were received with hostility where we're visiting, it would be unreasonable to continue a long discussion and notations that, instead of being conductive of opportune success, create shadows and difficulties around us. If anyone did not receive your goodwill, nor perceive your noble intention, why waste time in bickering? Such an attitude does not resolve spiritual problems. Do you ignore the fact that the one that denies, as well as the indifferent person, will also be summoned by death of the body to our country of origin? Commend them to Jesus lovingly and proceed on a straight path, seeking attainment of your sacred objectives. There is much to be done in the spiritual edification of the world and in you. Shake, therefore, the incorrect impressions and march ahead joyfully. Friends, today Emmanuel brings us a message for much reflection. teaching us, as the song says nowadays, right? This famous song by Taylor Swift, Shake It Off. Literally, that's what Jesus said. Shake it off. Shake off the dust of your feet and move forward. What was Jesus meaning? What did he mean to us? Did he mean don't spread the good, don't share with others? No, he was such a wonderful master. He taught us to share the good news, to be able to share with others. But sharing is different than preaching. Preaching is when we are there, people don't want to hear, they don't want to accept, but we continues on, right? To the point that people get bothered. Imagine at Jesus' times. We can only imagine, right? If things are difficult today, imagine at Jesus' time. Did everyone love him? Did everyone accept him? No, on the contrary. If you are familiar with this beautiful season that is now in the movie theaters, The Chosen, if you're not, we would extremely recommend to everyone. You can watch for free on Netflix, on Amazon Prime, the first three seasons. And the season four just came out on the movie theaters. And this week they are streaming the last two episodes. But it's so beautiful. Why we're recommending this? Because when we read these passages and we think about Jesus, sometimes it's so hard for us to grasp that image. And it's so beautiful because in the series The Chosen, Jesus is portrayed so beautifully. Is it all true? Is all correct? Of course, it is open, right, to our own interpretations of the Bible, of the gospel. But the beauty of it is for us to be able to look at Jesus and see that master that was loving and kind, but he was also serious, he was secure in himself, and yes, he did exactly what the message says. He was there, he was sharing. The Pharisees would come and question him and question him. Did he stay there preaching and forcing? No. He answered sometimes with one, two words, sometimes not directly, generally. And then he truly shook the dust off his feet and walked away. He didn't lose his time for those that were not open yet. And that's what he shared with us, saying, if we are there and people are not receptive, why we will continue, as Emmanuel says, in this bickering that will only create more tension and conflict. Sometimes among loved ones that do not understand us, but we are there. We want them to believe. It's understandable. These teachings, they bring so much consolation to our hearts. But everyone have their time. We need to respect people's time. And that's what Jesus did. That's what God does every day. He is there. He provides us everything, but he doesn't impose. And that imposition, Jesus was never impositional. But he also did not lose his time. He shared with everyone. But for those that were not ready yet, he did not lose time. On the contrary, he focused on what? On those who are suffering. And that's what he told us. I came to those who are suffering. Meaning what? Those who are open. But do we need to wait for suffering to come for us to open our hearts? We don't. But majority of times, that's what happened. It's through the suffering, through the challenges in our lives, that we truly open our hearts. But let us reread this paragraph for us to reflect on the message tonight. To shake the dust off the feet implies the elimination of any bitterness and detritus from our lives due to the ignorance and perversity that we encounter on our roads. What did he means when he says this bitterness? Friends, it's something inside of us because sometimes we don't stay there arguing with people, but we turn ourselves around, we go home, or we seclude ourselves, but we are in mental battles with others, not verbally, but in our minds. We are debating with them, we're answering to their questions, but how come? And then we stay in that mental battle. So he's saying, truly shake the dust off, meaning let us understand where people are, respect where they are, and not stay in these mental battles with other. Why? How can we do it? He says it's logical that we want to share the truth with others. But if we're receiving hostility when visiting and sharing with others, it is unreasonable to continue in the long in discussion instead of being conductive to opportune success. Why? Because then people will get mad not at us, but they will not want anything to do with the truth, with the good news. They'll say, how come? Gee, how I'm gonna be affiliated with that religion or those aspects? How I'm gonna be a part of spiritism if that person is so impositional, right? It's always bringing that up. Why? Jesus was not like that. He was a master of love. So Emmanuel closes with the lessons for us. He says, don't ignore the fact that those people, they will also be summoned by death. And so what should we do? Commend them to Jesus lovingly and proceed straight on your pathway, fulfilling your objectives. So he's saying, because others are not on board, don't waste your time. But he's also saying, don't stop. Shake the dust off and move on. That's what Paul of Tarsus used to do. If we read the accounts of Paul in the beautiful book, Paul and Stephen, we get to know Paul will get into each city. He would share the teachings. He would be stoned. He would go to prison. People would mistreated him. Did he take it personally? No. Did he stop? No. He would turn around, shake the dust off, and go to the next city. So he's saying, don't waste your time. So he wouldn't stay there forever. He would go to the next place, but he would also not be discouraged. He would continue in fulfilling his duties and his objectives. Why? Because there's much to be done in the spiritual edification. And Jesus is counting on us, all of us. So shake these incorrect impressions and march ahead joyfully. That is how we're gonna end today, friends. Thinking about joy. People don't understand us. People are not on board. They don't believe. That's okay. We are not gonna give up because of others. On the contrary, will stay steadfast on the pathway and will fulfill the duties that we were asked to fulfill. So, that is the message for us, friends, much for us to reflect. Let us then pray. Pray so that we can continue in this beautiful pathway, fulfilling our duties with joy. Shall we? We invite everyone to our prayer. Dear loving God, dear Master Jesus, Governor of our planet, we are so grateful, Master Jesus, so that we have access to the Spiritist teachings, where we get to know more about you. Not the Master who is suffering on the cross, but the friend who is loving and kind, but also firm, determined, joyful and hopeful in the future. So who are we, Master Jesus, to feel defeated when people don't understand us? When people want to stay in battles, not only physically, but verbally. You taught us, Master Jesus, not to waste our time, to share. But when encountered with discouragement, with questionings that will not lead anywhere, you taught us to shake the dust off our feet, to turn around and continue in our pathway without giving up, with joy and hope. Master Jesus, we pray for everyone in the circle of prayer, so that whenever we are, we can be your determined soldiers of the good, not giving up, not losing hope and faith, respecting and understanding the time of others. Because at the end of the day, Master Jesus, we're all children of God, and we're destined to progress. And all of us, sooner or later, will get to know you, because you are the truth. You are the way. You are the life. Master Jesus, we pray for everyone who is at this very moment going through challenging moments in their lives, through physical, spiritual, mental illnesses, material challenges, those who are going through illnesses of the body and of the mind, that your messengers, Master Jesus, can visit all hospitals, clinics, emergency rooms, nursing homes, shelters, refugee camps, and zones of war and conflict. And then you can also visit homes where externally look beautifully, but inside people are in true mental battles with themselves. Grateful for these moments of prayer, Master Jesus, and grateful for the much you given to us. We ask your permission to close these prayerful moments of tonight, and so be it. Friends, it feels so good to pray, right? Prayer is so powerful. We feel our energies are restored, we feel stronger. We hope that you feel these moments and that we can stay together in this beautiful currency of the good. A big hug to those that I can see who are here, Slavic, our dear John, all those who are joining us through all our platforms, also through Instagram. We hope you have a beautiful day, a beautiful evening, whenever you are. And let's stay connected here at Kardec Radio because here we're always nourishing our souls. And tomorrow we'll be connected through another prayer for peace. Bye bye.